That was an absolute slugfest from start to finish. Trey, the Truth Waters!
Sean Woodson, it is now a 6-fight unbeaten streak.
I'm the dark horse of this division. I can be the best in the world, man. I have everything it takes to get there.
Sean, the Sniper Woodson!
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier. I'm made for a fucking podcast. We're dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it. Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. I'm going to try my new broadcast. I'm in great deal of pain today. My back hurts. I did a lot of driving this weekend, so I think it was just sitting in the car for hours, so I'm in a great deal of discomfort. Trey Waters, Fight of the Night bonus, will be joining us against Billy Ray Goff. What a great fight that was. And also we have Sean Woodson.
Fight of the night.
Fight of the night. Go ahead.
Yes, it was. And Woodson over Alex Caceres, who I never get sick of watching. Alex Caceres is just, every time he fights, it's a good fight, whether he wins or loses. And Woodson in his hometown did a great job against Caceres. What a night of fights, Matt, huh? I mean, really, really interesting. Which one do you want to start with? Before either Trey or Sean, I never knows jumping in first. But a couple of really great moments. What do you think we'd like to start with?
There was only one stinker. Not stinker. It wasn't the most exciting fight. The first fight of the card.
JJ against Veronica Hardy?
No, that was fun.
Oh, you talking about
how dare me? I said that.
Oh, Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Yes. My bad. On the main card.
Despain, yeah.
It wasn't a barn burner. So, I want to talk about. I mean, look, we got Sean Woodson coming on. I want to talk about him versus Bruce Leroy. I like Alex. Listen, Alex Caceres. You got to give him credit for in the mix. He was trying to be creative. He was trying to come in on angles. Sean Woodson's a hard guy to get close to. Like, you know what I mean? When he does, he's crafty there too. It's not like he's going down easy. He's all legs. He's all legs and arms.
It's all legs. I think Caceres finally checked one of his kicks in the second at one point. But, he's a very, very dangerous guy, very lanky, really good striker.
We were the good luck show last week. Both the guys on the show. Carlos Olberg, who had a fantastic fight.
He looked unbelievable for the few seconds he was in the cage.
Oh, Trey Waters in the waiting room. Wait, who else was on the show last week that won?
Well, we did have Terrence McKinney. Not very good luck for him.
Oh, wait, what am I saying?
Yeah, I would say that was the bad luck. Chase Hooper was great too.
That's who I meant.
Against Borshov. Yeah.
All right, then why you got to piss in my lemonade?
Well, I mean, we did have, it might have been on Monday. I thought we might have had Terrence McKinney.
Sometimes when you give me the thumbs up, double thumbs up, that means someone's in the waiting room. I'm just going to do this. I'm flexing right now.
Matt is flexing. Now, who is in the waiting room? Trey Waters. Oh, let's bring in Trey. A great win for him.
I want to find out about him. What
a slugfest. It was just like, by the third day, they had gotten a little tired, but man, was that a good fight.
I want to find out about where he's from. I want to know what he started with.
Florida, I think.
But I want to find out from him, Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, I was just letting you know in case he didn't come on. How you doing, sir?
That took me forever. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, man, no problem, dude. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
What a fight on a night of good, really fun fights, exciting fights. To get fight of the night, which is deservingly so, that has to feel great, no?
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it feels amazing. It's such a blessing. I'm very grateful.
Well, do you get to a point when you're having a fight like that where you guys are basically just standing there toe to toe, just trading punches? Do you get to a point like, what do I have to do to get this guy out of here? Is there ever a point where you get to like, that should have worked, and what do I have to do?
Yeah, man. I mean, Billy said he was going to come forward the whole time. He said he was going to bring the pressure. I thought that my power would stop him. And I mean, it didn't. He kept bringing it. He brought it the whole time, and it made for a very exciting fight.
I liked your wrestling defense. You getting back up. You're because he had some good entries, and I was like, is it his bad or you're good that's he's not finishing these? You know what I mean? Like he got in sometimes deep, and he maybe get you back to the cage. But how much are you working that wrestling defense, man? Because you did have to get your hips underneath you a lot, using your overhook nice.
Yeah, man, it's something that I've been working on for a long time. Any fight that I've had, any fight that I've lost or any fight that I've had any trouble in, it's always been that. It's always been the grappling. It's always been them getting me on my back, and me being a taller striker, that's always the go-to against me. So it's something that I've had to work for a long time, and it's something that I've gotten very comfortable with. It's actually gotten me in trouble in the past because sometimes I get a little too comfortable on the cage. Just kind of resting there, having confidence in my takedown defense, but I have to remember that I can lose the fight kind of chilling there as well.
100%. Now, you grew up in Florida or no? And then is that where you grew up?
Yep, Jacksonville, yep.
Nice. Where did you start your training? What discipline did you start with?
I started at a gym called the Training Yard. So I actually started mostly jiu-jitsu, but they had striking as well, like Muay Thai, kickboxing.
Interesting. All right.
I was gonna say the guys have a harder time taking you down because of your, like, you know what I mean. It is always harder to take someone 6'5" down because your legs are so hard to get up. Do you find guys have a harder time with that, or they just make a great adjustment and where it's a disadvantage to be tall?
Well, it's kind of both, because me being longer and them being closer to my legs, I feel like sometimes the entry is easier for them to get to, but me having those long legs and them trying to lift me, it's harder. Certain takedowns are harder. Certain takedowns are easier,
Now, how easy is the weight cut for you? Hey, man, that's nuts. Trey, I want to meet you in person, but I don't want to stand next to you. I'm 5'6". I'm going to be up to your navel. I mean, if there was, and I won the title at welterweight, so that is just. I'm glad mofos like you didn't get into this. There was no 6'5" guys in that division. You know what I mean? It's crazy. How's the weight? It's
definitely different.
How's that weight?
Honestly, the weight cut isn't too bad. I walk at like 85, so it's really not. Yeah, it's really not that bad. But I can get a little heavy sometimes, but I don't regularly get above 190, so it's not too bad of a cut, honestly.
So fighting at 185 wouldn't be something you would do because you're walking around so close to that.
Well, because of my frame, I believe like in the future, if I grow a little bit, it's possible for sure. I could definitely compete at 85, but right now, nah.
We were reading too. They always give us a little prep sheet. And that you fish a lot, which I'm always fascinated with guys who fish because I find it to be so infuriating and not relaxing because I'm not good at it. Do you like to just be out there by yourself? And how do you like to do that? What's it do for you?
Yeah, there's lots of aspects of it that I love, like the peace, just going out there, being on the water in nature, the patience that it requires.
That's what I was going to say, man. Shoot. Yeah. I don't got that. I have enough patience. When I have to wait in my lobby in VR for the contracted showdown and I got to wait for it to go, it's a minute and a half. I just want to snipe somebody. I can't. Right. If I'm sitting there with, I don't know, I'm into video games. If I sit there with an oar in there and there's nothing biting, what are you doing? Is that your moment of zen? Is that where you kind of just find some peace? Because you have to have patience for that.
Yeah. It's super chill, man. I just like to relax. It's super chill, calming for me for sure.
Are you alone or do you like to go with somebody?
I like to go with my boys.
You do?
Sure. I fish alone too, but I prefer to be with my boys.
What is Jacksonville like? I've worked there briefly, like I've been there for a day or two, but that's not right. There's no like beach right on Jacksonville, is there? Or does that hit the water?
Yeah, it is. So actually I'm from the beach. Yeah, I'm actually from the beach. So where I grew up at is like a few blocks from the beach. So
is it the panhandle of Florida?
No, it's on the East Coast, like right on the border of Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm an idiot then. For some reason, I was thinking
No,
it was in the there was no Beijing. Again, I was in and out in 2 days. So you stayed down there. Did you ever move out of there, or have you been in Florida the whole time?
I've always been in Florida. Never lived anywhere else.
Have you fought out of the country?
I haven't. I haven't even been out of the country.
Really? Do you have a passport?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're ready.
Yeah.
If you could fight anywhere outside the States, because I guess your first trip out of the country is a big deal. Is there a place that you'd like to go?
I wanted to go to Brazil for a while, but I'm a little nervous after a few things I heard, but yeah, that seems like a good trip for sure.
Especially if you're an ass man.
Yes.
Sorry, Trey. Listen, man. I don't know if you got a lady, dude. Is anybody in the car, please? I don't want to.
No, I'm actually single, but I'm refraining. I have my relationship with Jesus. I'm very
dude, I'm all listen to me. Don't
but
listen.
You're cool. You're cool.
Listen,
You're cool.
listen, Trey.
Cool.
Listen to Jesus. Don't listen to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm a silly man. I do those jokes with Jimmy.
You try to keep it with somebody you're with, as opposed to just all over the place. You want to wait till you're with somebody.
Right. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As a fighter, it's probably good too. Do you believe, like, you remember, Matt, I don't know if they did that when you were fighting too, but the old adage of, like, you don't hook up before a fight because it drains, some type of energy. Do you believe that?
I don't really believe in it too much, but a lot of people seem like they do. I can see how it could possibly hinder you for sure. I do.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think that was made up by the guys, like everything that leads up to, like, trying to chase a date. You know what I mean? Like getting out, staying out all night, and partying. Right. Hey, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about your relationship with Jesus, I think that really is going to help your training. I find that a lot, no matter what religion people are into, like it keeps you on the right path. Like in training, you're not out getting in trouble. You're out fishing with the guys and
that's true.
Doing stuff productive. You know,
that's true. And even more than that, like fighting, man, and it's similar to life. Like a lot of in fighting reflects a lot of your life. And I believe it's spiritual as well. So I believe when you're my relationship with Christ, my spiritual walk, I believe it puts me in a space that it's hard to compete against, because I don't draw from my own strength, and I believe that's what helps me pull through in this fight. Honestly, I didn't want to even say this because I don't want to really make too many excuses. I've mentioned it already, but I'll say it. I hurt my knee in the beginning of the first round bad. Very bad. And I fall on a hurt knee. That's why I wasn't able to. If you really watch my fight against Quinlan and the way I stopped him from coming forward, the way I was able to sit down on my punches and move, just it was different. And it's because I hurt my knee and I was not able to move. And
how'd you hurt your knee? How'd you hurt it?
It was on a takedown. He lifted me and he lifted me and brought me back down up against the cage. And I planted wrong. It was a weird thing.
Shoot.
Also, it is nice too about not chasing a bunch of different sexual partners is there's less distraction. Like it's a headache. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're, is this one going to call? Are they not going to call? There's so many mental things. Somebody, I think it was Liddell, told a story about fighting with a girlfriend once, and she hit him with an ashtray in the hotel room the night before the fight. Like, there's so many crazy things that can happen that you're not gonna fight with your friend fishing.
Right.
You just it's a whole clear headspace. Were you raised that way when you were a kid, or did you kind of come to this as you get older?
I was not raised like that. I've made plenty of mistakes, and to be honest, just here recently, I've made a big shift in my life. In these past few months, I've been a lot more closer to Christ, and I've been living a lot more straighter spiritual walk. I haven't been susceptible to any of those things anymore. But I have lived that life for sure.
Sure.
Let me ask you now, on your Instagram, I'm reading something about Project Savior Outdoors and also the Verb Kind. One works with veterans, and the other one with incarcerated youth. Could you tell me about that? Which other one you want to start with?
Yeah, so Project Savior Outdoors, that's my brother Mike Dragic. He's a brother in Christ, man. He's doing amazing things. He's awesome, and he has a nonprofit foundation, and he does lots of amazing things with veterans. He like takes them outdoor. He does so much. It's too much to even get into, right? But he does so much. It's an amazing organization. And also with VerbCon, it's she who funded it is a sister in Christ. Her name's Haley Hunt, and she's amazing. And the organization, we go into incarcerated youth centers and we mentor them, and we're seeing the lost saved. We're doing a lot of big things, and it's beautiful.
Do you encourage them when someone's incarcerated? Because I mean, a lot of those guys can fight, from having tough upbringings. But do you encourage them to kind of get into some type of organized mixed martial arts? Because then you learn more about than fighting. You learn how to discipline yourself, how to train. There's so much more that comes with it than just the physical act of fighting.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I never push anyone to fighting. I think that was something that specifically that was a part of my calling, and it's not for everyone. So it's not something that I push. But if any of the kids, there is a few kids that are totally interested, and when they ask me about it, and if they ever want to do it, I'm totally open to helping. But I don't push it at all. I'm looking I'm looking to inspire them and push them into already what they're meant to do, because not everyone is meant to fight,
But it's very cool though, because these young tough kids, they see you and they see that you took it in a positive direction. You're not fighting on the streets, you're not fighting in the clubs, you're not in a gang. Right. They see a tough guy doing it, and then they see you on the mic afterwards. Classy, and that's a great you got their respect just from that off the bat. Where if it's other, they could be like, who is this square telling us about this or that? You know what I mean? So right away.
Another thing which is crazy about that is I relate to them so much because actually I spent like 18 days in the same juvenile detention center that I go and visit.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now you credit Jesus with the turnaround. How did you turn your life around?
100%, because he doesn't waste anything. When I was a youth and I was in there, it didn't make sense to me. And what's ironically, that's the first time I really felt as if I heard from him. And I really felt like he was telling me that the reason I was in there was not necessarily the fight that landed me there, but it was actually the way I was living, and that's what needed to change. And my life made a drastic change from that point. And it's crazy how things all come full circle. It's wild.
Did you fight a lot as a kid growing? I don't know. I'm in the area of Jacksonville you were. Was it one of those? Was it a good area, quiet area? Was it a rough area?
It was a rough area. So I'm from the beach side, which is less rough than the inner city, but we've drawn, it's so much influence. Like, how it is that my little small area drew a lot of influence, and it was bad itself for sure.
Yeah, and what actually inspired you to get involved, Matt? I don't think Matt, you had. Did you? What exactly made you want to train?
So I have a few of my brothers that I was going to high school with. We were getting into trouble and stuff, and they actually started to train, and they invited me to the gym, and because I played like football and stuff, like nothing serious, but I've always been an athlete, and they invited me to the gym. I tried it, and I never stopped going. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people, I guess, love it, or I wish I'd done it when I was younger. It's really good for a mental well-being, and I find like the feelings are less confrontational when you know what you're doing. I'm sure, right? Like you're calmer about confrontation, and you don't need it as much.
That is facts. That's fact. And actually, so those two things go in together: me fighting and me going to jail and all that stuff. And where I grew up at, because I've always been a soft, loving person. And in my heart, like that's truly who I am. That's truly who I want to be, is I want to love, I don't want to be aggressive and all that, confrontational. I've never been like that. But growing up where I grew up, me being naturally that way, it got me not taken advantage of, but people tried to, and people looked at me as if I was soft because of that. So it forced me to kind of to operate outside of who I truly wanted to be in a defense mechanism type of way, which a lot of that being tough stuff is. And I preach that a lot to our kids. I tell them that it's okay to be you. Don't ever let anyone trick you out of being who you are, because you're made that way for a reason. God made you that way for a reason. And it's not, there's nothing soft about that, about being loving, about being caring, compassionate.
And Trey, too, you I mean, your record is really good. You've obviously fought very, very well. Your only loss was to Bonfim, and you said that was a wake up call, which is interesting. What did that tell you? And how was it a wake up call? Was there something you weren't doing in your training before, or did it change your mental intensity? What did it do?
Well, I was working a lot, and I was doing things that I wasn't completely focused. You know, I wasn't completely sacrificed. I was working a lot, and I was double-minded, you know, and I really, after that loss, because I was waiting on the UFC call, and I started to grow a little weary, you know, and as soon as I took my foot off the gas a little bit, I got that call 3 weeks notice against Bonfim, wasn't prepared, and I learned a huge lesson about staying ready, you know.
Right. Yeah, being ready. Well, listen, man, it was such a great fight, and you guys, you deserve the fight of the night. Really, really an exciting fight to watch as a fan, and congratulations on getting that honor. You guys definitely deserved it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Dre, all our best, man. Can't wait to see you fight again.
Yes, sir.
Thank
We'll talk to you
brother.
again, too.
Awesome. It was awesome talking to you guys. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Trey. Trey Waters, a great fight on Saturday night. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Trey. Fun.
It's funny, like, because he's talking about being like a quiet, loving guy, and I'm just thinking, anybody who watched Saturday Night, like, it's amazing how people can have both sides of them. You know, he was a very violent guy in the cage, and then he's a nice guy outside the cage. It's just crazy to me.
I gotta read the notes and realize when he's really into religious. Don't bring up that I'm an ass man. And I mean,
It's all right. Who do you think made the asses?
You know what? Good point, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't know that he was religious, but I mean, he's religious. He's not dead. He's still a guy. And he lived that life. He wasn't offended. He understands.
I lived that life. Mrs. Serra, I'm coming tonight. I'm coming for you. Ow, ow, ow.
Was today visit the doctor day? You seem to have a new energy.
But you know, a little late nights of Shogun. Next thing you know, I get sleepy. I've been watching Shogun.
I've not seen it, man.
Jimmy, Sage, I love it. I'm enjoying it. I was into Yellowstone for a while, and I watched the whole thing. And towards the end, a lot of herding, a lot of hey, let's get the cows over here, dude. And then
what do you mean a lot of hurt? I'm sorry. H-E-R-D. Herd. I think you meant hurting as in pain.
No, not herding. Herding. And it's a lot of shots of them on the ranch and cowboying.
Woohoo!
Not well, you know, not like that. But it's not. I want to see some people trying to. Now it got very good. It ended on a nice note, but
sure did, fella.
Give me some action. But Shogun, you think that you got to read the subtitles, it's gonna be annoying. I'm all in. All in. Are you farting?
No.
Are you farting when I'm talking? When I'm telling you of Shogun,
my back
you're
hurts.
lifting a cheek. I thought you got closer to listen to my
listen. Why my headphones are on?
Stop, Jimmy.
You're not whispering in real life.
Yeah, it is true. I thought you were just really into it.
And my back hurts, so I'm leaning forward. It slipped out.
Up a cheek, and I hear you farting. It
slipped out.
It's rude. It's rude.
You're right. It slipped out.
All right. So, Jimmy, I can't stay mad at you. I feel good. I went to jiu-jitsu this morning. I taught the 7 a.m., the noon. You know my day. Mm-hmm. I brought my daughter with me today. So she's got a match coming up, so she starts the day on the mat.
Yeah.
Listen, you know me, man. I can't complain. You tell me, how was your weekend?
A lot of driving. That's why I'm in pain. I drove to Pittsburgh, to Buffalo, back. it was just a tremendous, like 15 hours in the car, 17 hours in the car over the weekend. So I'm just, my back is really feeling it today.
Bring the wife, you know.
No, not on the one that's mostly driving like that. It's just too much.
Just you by yourself?
Well, the guy I was working with, but yeah, this guy Sean.
How is he doing? He's your opening act?
Yeah, he was good. He was funny. By the way, before I forget, Matt.
Yes.
Derek Lewis.
Oh my goodness.
Against Nascimento, third round TKO. Derek Lewis is just always deadly.
This is the deal. This is what I'm going to say to you right now. Now you heard him after the fight. I did not know. I'm not making excuses, but his fight with Almeida, the fight before this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, shoulders. Yeah.
He was controlled on the floor. I did not know he had an injury. He doesn't really talk about that. But he did mention it.
Yeah. He had both his shoulders.
Yeah. So, he didn't look the same in this fight. And listen, hats off to Derek Lewis, man. I knew I picked against him in a sense where I thought this guy's got very good jiu-jitsu and ground control. And if he got it there, I thought it might be the Almeida fight all over again. And I thought Almeida didn't take advantage of some of those positions.
No.
And now it makes total sense. If you looked at this performance, I'm going to say he looked fantastic.
Yeah. He looked great. And when he explodes, when he wants to get up, they were talking about that too. Like he's just so powerful and he seems to wait until he needs to use it to get up. But just like Curtis Blades, like no matter how well someone's doing on the floor, if you let him stay around in the fight, it takes one shot. And he was landing shots on Nascimento the whole fight. He was having really strong moments striking. But Nascimento took some of those punches probably better than a lot of other people would. But yeah, congratulations. And also, we were very good luck for Carlos Ulberg, who I didn't even see the punch that dropped him in the field. Like the first punch, I had to watch it twice and see that fucking
nasty hook.
Nasty, yeah.
He's very accurate and explosive.
Yep.
And again, he finds a home for his shots, and he throws them in combos where they just pop, pop, pop. That fight was over before it began. He was so aggressive that it actually. Oh, that's 6 straight for.
Yeah.
Alonzo was so aggressive it actually worked against him, where he ran into.
That's right.
But listen, what I want to really talk about, which I was real, and I want to make some comparisons here. Joaquin Buckley versus Rosbio. Now, that's how you deal with someone 6'5". But like I said earlier, with Trey Waters, Trey Waters versus Billy Ray Goff. Now, Goff had some good entries, but he didn't finish. He didn't get close to really finishing. He just got him back to the cage, or almost got close. Buckley, when he wanted to shoot, he exploded into some beautiful takedowns. And that made a huge difference where he got in some ground and pound, and then the threat of the takedown was always there. So then he'd come in with head movement, come in with some good strikes, but the threat of the takedowns were making a huge difference. That's how you deal with someone that size.
Yes.
The ability, and he has explosion. And I like that he's strategic because he's so good standing that he knew that it was smart to throw in those takedowns. And man, I thought he's growing with each fight. He took out Luke, who's no walk in the park.
No, I know he's very good.
Fresh off that, he takes out this giant, and I want to see what's next for him. I know he called out Conor McGregor, but let's be honest, that's not happening. And then he also mentioned Gilbert Burns. I think him versus Gilbert Burns is an amazing fight. Yeah, that's an amazing fight.
They all want Conor. Obviously, it's such a big fight. But in order to fight, but then again, he is fighting Chandler. But Chandler is a former champion and a huge name in the UFC. Joaquin is getting there. And I think he will be, and I definitely think he has the potential to be a champion. I thought he looked great.
Joaquin, he likes it. Rock the Casbah. Why do I have to say I'm an ass man to a man of God?
Because you mentioned Brazil. It's okay.
Did you save me?
Terrence McKinney, by the way.
Woodson.
We'll bring in Woodson. Esteban Ribovics. I mean, that was a devastating knockout of McKinney. McKinney, again, he runs in. McKinney is always ready. You know what I mean? He's always very comfortable being in the middle of the action, and sometimes it costs him.
Yeah, he don't like to clock much time in there. He's either winning fast,
that's right.
Fast, but he gets his work done early. But don't go get a drink when he's fighting, Terrence.
No, not at all.
Let's get Sean Woodson in because he's on an effing roll.
Yeah, Sean looked really great against a guy who's really not easy to figure out.
Dude, he hasn't lost since 2020.
That's right. Let me see how many fights.
I'm going to say that again. He has not lost since 2020.
That's right, 6 fights. And before that, it was only once. 12-1-1.
He only has one loss, Jimmy.
Yeah, Julian Erosa subbed him, but I mean, again, that can happen. Here he is.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean.
Me. What's up, guys?
How are you, sir?
Sean, congrats, bro. Congrats.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Dude, you are doing something right, and you're improving, and you're getting better opponents, and you're beating them. Well, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, man, what's going on with you?
Yeah. Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me. I kind of lost my voice a little bit, but yeah, man. I'm extremely happy to keep stringing these wins together against these quality opponents, bro. And yeah, I'm like you said, if it ain't broke, don't break it. So yeah, I'm just keep doing what I'm doing and staying locked in and training hard.
How hard was Caceres is such an interesting fighter because his movement is so good. He's very, very aggressive. He adapts well to other people's style. You know, he's got great kicks. He was a very, very interesting opponent. And how hard was he to actually get a read on?
Yeah, that was the thing. I knew right away we both were going to be trying to like feel each other out, and it was going to be like a real chess match. We're both real weird and awkward dudes, and I felt like we were going to be trying to like out awkward each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was a hard guy to get a read on. I usually have that. Well, he usually has the reach advantage against guys, and
That's right.
He wouldn't luxury against me, so I knew that would give him a lot of trouble. But you know, he's up there. He's like 5'10", 5'11".
5'10", yeah.
Yeah, so it gives me trouble when I go against longer guys also because I usually never have that issue. But yeah, his long awkwardness was giving me some trouble for sure. But yeah, I feel like I did a good job of handling him.
Is it correct? Are you the tallest in the division at 6'2", at 145?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You have to be. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I'm the tallest guy. I got the longest reach. My reach is like 78. That's like a heavyweight reach.
Yeah.
Now you're already a man now, 31. You could stay at this division, obviously. Is the weight cut brutal or no?
So this past cut, man, was the worst I've had yet. I was like ahead of schedule on my weight cut and was like had room to like some wiggle room. So I started eating a little more than I should have and got a little greedy with it. And then fell behind on the cut and had to play catch up. And then, just had to do like this crash diet the last second. And it really had my gas tank just shot, bro.
It's amazing.
What were you eating that you shouldn't have? Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. What were you eating? Was it like I was eating one extra piece of grilled chicken, or were you like just like things that you really were missing, like candy and, you know?
Like whenever I have like a clean sheet, I try to keep it to barbecue because you can just do protein, you know what I'm saying? So like I went to like a couple barbecue spots and my weight was still good. But then I was eating extra clean stuff. Like I was having extra bananas and extra yogurt bowls and stuff like that. And before I do it, I threw myself out of calorie deficit and had to reverse that and get myself I was like in a calorie surplus, had to get back in a deficit in the last minute, and it was a shit show, man.
You know what's funny, man? Like with the weight cutting, there's times I was talking to my daughter about this today because she had a match coming up. So, you know, I had a bad weight cut, but it's usually after I have a good weight cut because you get a little cocky. So I remember with PJ Penn, I had a great weight cut. The next one, I'm like, I get an extra detour bar, or I'll eat some extra protein bars. Throw them. Next thing you know, I had a fucking horrendous weight cut. So it's like you get a little cocky, man. I made it last time. I'm drinking the water loading, and Next thing you know, you're paying the price, man. Not worth it.
When you got yourself like in a calorie deficit and your metabolism is firing, you can get away with little stuff here and there. But as soon as you get out of that deficit and you're in a surplus, you got to do all the work to get yourself back in a deficit. And yeah, man, it was rough. I'll never make that mistake again, though.
How many pounds is it for you where you go like, oh, I fucked up? Like, is it you put on 2 extra pounds and you know that now it's going to be a lot harder, or what is it for you?
So I at first I was having like these cheat meals and stuff, and I would go up like half a pound or whatever, and it wasn't nothing. But then after I just kept doing it, I was up like 6 pounds all of a sudden, and I was like, damn, I fucked up. So I started. Can we cuss on there? My bad.
Yeah.
All right, man. Celebrate it.
Though I was up like 5-6 pounds and had to reverse it and do the work to get myself back in the deficit. And yeah, man, it was terrible. It was my first time experiencing that too. Usually when I get my metabolism going, bro, I can like get away with a lot. I eat a lot during camp. Like during camp, I'm eating like close to 4,000 calories a day. And, but it's all clean food and stuff. And yeah, I guess it's a part of my body getting older too. My nutritionist used to always tell me once I turned 30, I wouldn't be able to make 45 anymore. And I turned 30 and everything was great. I'm 31. It's still, it was cool. But now that I'm about to turn 32, I think I got to like tighten it up and no more playing around. Like I got to be on my stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
What does that say about that? It was his first fight in his home. Oh, that was your first
St.
fight
Louis,
in
yeah.
Since 2018?
Yeah, since fighting on the regional scene, yeah. And like when I heard they were coming here, I was on my manager heavy to like put me on that card. But now that I did it, I don't ever want to do it again.
Now, why is that? Yeah, is it too many friends and family showing up, or?
Dude, just too much extra pressure. Like there's already, fighting comes with enough pressure as is. So all that pressure on like the hometown and just not wanting to look bad or lose in front of your family and friends and all that stuff. Like I don't ever want to have to deal with that again. I want to send me into enemy territory every time from here on out.
Yo, dude, I'm with you. I had that East Coast curse. Every UFC fight I fought on the East Coast, Connecticut, Atlantic City, I fucking lost. And then I won when I was in Vegas. I should gamble. I mean, I'd win in Vegas and I'd lose. But hey, it happens.
I was gonna say, how many times did you fight in your hometown when you were in UFC?
Well, it wasn't legal in New York back then, but I'd fight in New Jersey, So
okay.
I'd lose in front of my people. And then, some fights were very close where it could have went the other way. But, I remember I lost to Carol Parisian and I got tired in that one. I'd walk out on the boardwalk. He was a judo guy. I had all my students there, my fiance. First thing I said to him was, you fuckers better not all be fucking joining a judo school after this. You got to suck it up,
That's funny. Yeah, man. I thought it was, it was cool. Like, it was definitely like one of them bucket list things that I can, check off, but it's not nothing that I'm trying to revisit and do it again for sure.
You don't have to do it again, man. You got fucking what in a performance in your hometown versus a gamed opponent, a guy that people know. Yeah. They recognize that hair from anywhere. It's fucking Bruce Leroy. Yeah. That was an entertaining fight, man, in your hometown. And if you don't want to do it again, you don't have to, man. At least you got that under your belt. You got the win in there,
Oh, yeah. That's a moment I'll never forget. And yeah, like I'm super happy, that I got to do that and picked up that. But yeah, don't want to do that again. And yeah, the quality of opponent, Bruce Leroy, man, like he's borderline a legend in the sport.
Yes. Yeah. So now that I was gonna say now you beat him. That's the most recognizable guy, the guy that people know. Who's next now, man? Things are going right. You deserve to call someone out and them respect that. You've been showing it, putting the work in. You've been fucking racking up the wins. Who we got? Who we got on our sights?
I got my sights set on Bryce Mitchell. That's what I want.
Yes. Oh. That's what. Yes. Yeah. That's a nice fight.
Yeah, that's a really nice fight.
Yeah, man.
It ain't nothing against, like, I respect the dude. I respect what he stands for. I agree with a lot of things that he says and stuff, but it's about that number. I think he's number 10. When me and Caceres were signed to fight, he was number 15. And I think he got like bounced out of the rankings by the time we fought, but he's still top 15 quality guy.
Sure.
And I'm coming from a point where it's like I am who I say I am, or I'm not. I just want to find out. I just, in my mind, I should be number 15 now. I don't want to do no playing around. I want to go to number 10, Bryce Mitchell.
He's 12.
Oh, he's 12 now?
Bryce is 12. Yeah. Giga Chikadze is number 10.
Okay, well, shit. Maybe we can go Bryce, then Giga, and then. But yeah, I just want, I'm trying to move up the line for sure. And yeah, I definitely want Bryce next.
Man,
oh, that's a great fight.
Got my money for that fight. I'd love to know if that gets booked, man. I'd be happy as a fan.
Yeah,
it's
not. He won't be a tough fight. I mean, he won't be. He will be a tough fight. He'll be a tough fight, but be an easy guy to train for. I know what he's coming to do, and it'll be a great matchup.
And it's funny fighting in front of hometown like Derek Lewis. I think he's lost 2 straight in Houston. And I maybe it's just a coincidence he happened to be there, but I would love to ask him if that had anything to do with it. Because, again, there is an other obligations where you can't just concentrate on the fight. Hey, your aunt's on the phone. She didn't get her tickets or whatever the situation is. There's so much. I mean, you must have been hit up a lot by a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, man. I was getting hit up by family I didn't even know I had. I was getting hit up by people I was cool with and I ain't talked to in like 10 years. And but yeah, like what you about Derek Lewis and like fighting in the hometown and stuff. I really think that I'm not the only one that bothers a lot of guys. Because my manager even told me, he was like, he hears that so much that whenever UFC is coming to one of his clients' hometown, they always, are on them heavy about getting on that card. But afterwards, they always say the same thing I said. They don't want to do that ever again, and that it was just way too much pressure and gave them, a lot of nerves and stuff,
Yeah, and it seems like but it's probably better to be doing it in the middle of the card than the main event. Like you've learned, all right, I won, but there's a lot of pressure here. So if they want to main event you in St. Louis, I'm sure you would do it, but you'd at least be prepared for what it is.
Oh yeah, so a main event for sure, and especially that I've like already kind of done it already and can learn from that. And and if we're talking about fighting for the belt, then yeah, for sure I would want to do that here in St. Louis, for sure. But outside of that, send me other places.
You look unscathed. Now, are you healthy? What's going on since the fight?
Yeah, I got a little that little sore ribs or whatnot. Right. I had a few small like pre-existing injuries that I went into this fight with, and that was like 3 fights in 9 months for me. And even though I got the cuts dialed in, they still take a toll on my body. Yeah. So I want to take like a couple months, like this summer, just enjoy the summer, and then get back in early October, November type deal.
Nice. Well, hey, man, you deserve a rest, man, especially after that performance.
Great job, man.
Things are going so right for you, and we're so happy. And we love to watch you fight, man. Hopefully you get this Bryce Mitchell fight. When you do, come back on, please.
Oh yeah, man. I thank you. I appreciate you guys wanting to talk to me. I'm down to talk anytime, man.
Yeah, great fight. Thanks for such a great fight, Sean. Really, really exciting. And anyway, we can't wait to see who you fight next, and hopefully it will be Bryce. And we'll talk to you again. All right.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna be pushing for that Bryce fight heavy, and thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you, Sean Woodson. Thank you, buddy, very much.
Yeah, Warrior.
Doing. See ya.
Hey, man, I'd love to see that fight.
I would too.
Like he said, he's a guy he may be easy to train for because
you know what he's doing.
But Bryce Mitchell's one of those guys where, all right, his attitude pretty much is, all right, you know what I'm doing, try to stop it. You know what I mean? He times things well. It's not like you can't sleep on his strikes. He knows how to. Are you fighting?
No. I'm literally my back and my leg are very sore. I'm actually just kind of trying to be comfortable.
You gotta forgive me if I got my guard up now because
no, I'm not breaking any wind.
I like to pour my heart out to you sometimes, and you shit on it literally.
No, I'm with you, my friend.
All right. So Jimmy, what other fights really quick? I think we hit the whole main card, didn't we? Let me see. I think we're alone now.
Yeah, we did. We hit let me see, buddy. If there's anything else I wanted to discuss, I think we touched on everything.
Wait, hold on a second, really quick. I want him on the show. This is how much I love this fight. Diego Ferreira.
Oh my God, against Rebecca.
Rebecca was my favorite fight. That was my favorite fucking fight because he was the underdog. He's almost 40. He has 5 kids. He's a guy that has a great skill set. Very good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, man. and very good striking, and he's durable. And he needed to be durable versus fucking Rebecca, because Rebecca was a monster in that first round. And Rebecca, listen, he handed him his first loss, I believe. That was his first loss, wasn't it? Was he undefeated?
I know he was. I think he's 19-2.
In the UFC, he was undefeated.
19-2 overall. He was 3-0 in the UFC, right? 3-1 now.
Well, now he's 3-1, thanks to Diego Ferreira. He was on a 16-fight win streak.
Wow. Yeah.
So you see what Diego was going up against, and not for anything, it was awesome. It was awesome because he had to survive a hard first round, and then you saw the shift. You saw the turn in that fight, and you saw him taking over, and you saw Rebecca start to just diminish. And next thing you know, man, he just started to shine the longer it went on. And I just, the way it ended with 9 seconds left, it was just made me so happy.
And Matt, I wanted to say too, Chase Hooper.
Oh my goodness, wait,
wow.
Jimmy. Now look.
Rebecca looked rough.
Rebecca's not looking at much after that. He's fucking. How's he seeing after that? That's a rough. Yeah. That's a rough after fight pick.
Yeah, both eyes swollen shut, like something out of Rocky. He was. But in between rounds, you could even see that it was like his eyes were like little slits and just swelling all around him.
Yeah, but I was so impressed with him, Diego. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great fight.
Also, Veronica Hardy had a really good match, close one versus JJ Aldridge.
Yeah,
great fight. Charles Johnson beat Jake Hadley, and also Tabitha Ricci versus
Tisha Pennington. Yeah,
it was a fun fight. I was very impressed with Tabitha. I really was, because Tisha's not an easy fight, and she had some really good everything from the takedowns. Oh wait, really quick, Chase Hooper.
Yeah, so Chase Hooper's knocked down a fucking Borshev, and he looked great, Chase. He looks great at that weight.
I'm sorry, I'm excited about him in this weight class, man. He never looked powerful.
Yeah,
he looked strong. He never looked strong at 145.
Yeah,
he looked just like a kid, wiry, and he actually looked. You saw his back muscles. He looked strong, and the way he put those punches together with the grappling. And then he got the choke in the second round. I want to see what's next for him in this weight class. I was very impressed.
Well, and Borshev, I was as impressed with Borshev, even though he was clearly losing the fight, but he is really, really hard to submit. And he was very, very resilient on the floor. Like, I think it was Keith Peterson, you could see wanted to stop it or was ready to stop it. And he just kept fighting his way out. I was very impressed with him as far as being a tough and resilient fighter. And then with the weird thing with the tap, I believe he didn't. You're right. Faber thought he didn't. But again, you can't fault the ref because he gave him, like they kept saying he's giving him a lot of rope, but he's giving him a lot of leeway. And then it looked like his hand hit once, and I don't know what a ref's supposed to do in that situation.
No, listen. You're in that situation, so that's the problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be there anyway, so you can't really complain.
Right. Yeah.
Easy from the sidelines, but you know what I'm saying. Jimmy, we talked about all the fights.
Sure
we
did.
Credit where credit was due. We made a new friend. We spoke to an old friend. You farted during my story. We had a great show today.
Yes, the wind did slip out tonight, Matt. You can catch me. I'll be on Legion of Skanks podcast live.
Oh, Jimmy, did you have a +1?
I don't.
Maybe next time I could join you on Legion of Skanks.
I would like that a lot, actually. I'm sure they would love it too.
Okay.
We have a new podcast up. My wife and I have a new episode of Sword Fight where we discuss an award show rejecting us. And also, I'm on the road at the end, early June 7th, 8th. I'll be on the road, Idaho, and where the fuck am I going to be? Portland. This was fun, Matt.
Hey, man, you can catch me on UFC Unfiltered with my buddy Jimmy every Monday and Wednesday. All right, that's it. Jimmy, I'll talk to you in a couple of days.
Yes, sir. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Fly off, my little bird. Sorry.